My name is Victoria Hughes. I'm the director of the Florida Women's Business Center, located in Delray Beach, Florida. We are so happy to have a joint workshop today. Our workshop covers Jacksonville Women's Business Center as well as the Melbourne Women's Business Center. And I'm going to give the directors there an opportunity to introduce themselves. But more importantly, what I wanted to say first is that, as you know, as women business centers, we're one of 100 plus women's business centers across the country that receive a grant from the Small Business Administration. Our entire mission is to help women start, grow, and run successful businesses. What we all do is provide resources, opportunities, connections, and knowledge. So we're happy to connect with all of you, and we encourage you to take the opportunity today, obviously, to learn about Google and the services and products that Google offers small businesses, but also to take advantage of the networking that will take place so that you can meet other small business owners who are obviously like-minded, who are mostly women. Don't get waylaid by Hamlin here. Hamlin, I'm going to recognize your guy on. I didn't look through to see if we have more men who are participating, but Hamlin is part of our organization, and we want to say we don't exclude men. We're just focused on women, and we're happy that we're able to do that. So I'm just going to allow Jackie and Catherine to say hello to everyone and talk about their centers a little bit. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, we will put our information in the chat. And this is the first of 5 workshops. So we look forward to having you at all of our workshops. And obviously, we're here to support you in moving that business to the next level. So Catherine and Jackie, if you'd like to unmute and say good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jackie Peralt. I am the director of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. We are so happy to be putting this program together. I've worked with Pamela, and I'm so happy to be working with Catherine and Victoria on this effort. I think it's going to be an awesome summer series. So excited to be here.
Yes, and my name is Catherine Rudloff. I'm Executive Director of WeVenture Women's Business Center, and we're located in the BIS College of Business at Florida Tech. We love to offer really insightful programming like this for our clients, and we're so excited that as women's business centers around the state, we're able to work together and hopefully create some opportunity for you all to get to know other female entrepreneurs around the community. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. Our information is in the text. If you are in Brevard, Indian River, or St. Lucie County, would love to connect with you.
Great. Okay, thank you. Without further ado, I'm going to let Pam take over here because she has a lot to share and we don't want to miss any of it.
All right, thank you, Victoria. My name is Pamela Starr, and I'm going to be taking you through this conversation today where we're going to talk about how you can get your local business on Google Search and Maps. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. Hang on just a second. Just want to be sure I share the right screen because if like probably many of you, I have a whole bunch of windows open all at the same time. There we go. All right, so you should see get your local business on Google Search and Maps. I have the greatest gig in the whole wide world. I am a professional trainer for Grow with Google. Grow with Google is the division of Google that helps educate different groups of people, such as small business owners. All Grow with Google events are always hosted by a nonprofit organization that supports one of those audiences. And so I am very happy to be here with the Women's Business Centers and WeVenture. And I appreciate all the fact that you all those organizations are supporting this webinar to help me train all of you. I actually live in Tampa, so I am a Floridian, just like most of you are. So it's kind of nice to be talking to people, even though we're doing this virtually. In the past, I would do in-person educational workshops. Google would put me on an airplane and fly me all around the country. Although when I did have opportunities to talk to people in Florida, I had the luxury of driving in my own car and not having to sit at airports. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do those in-person events again, but I'm very much looking forward to the time where I can see you all face to face. So let's talk about your Google profile or your business profile on Google. I'm going to first of all give you a little bit of an introduction to tell you exactly what is this tool and how it can help you. Then I'm going to talk really briefly about how you can set this up for the very first time. But then I'm going to spend the majority of our time together really showing you the ins and outs of the business profile and how you can really maximize it. I know some of you may already have a business profile set up. Some of you may not. And so in that portion of the presentation, everybody's going to learn how you can use all of the newest features that are available. And then one of the features that's built into the business profile on Google is you actually can create a quick and easy introductory website on that business tool. So I'm going to go ahead and then at that point switch screens and do a little bit of a live overview of what it would look like to build your first website through the business profile. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. First of all, what the heck is a business profile on Google? If you don't already have one for your organization, chances are good you have seen other people's business profile. This is a piece of information that has an overview of a local business that you might be looking for. One of the most commonly searches on Google right now is near me. So when I was traveling, I was constantly finding myself in new communities, and I was always looking for something like a taco restaurant near me or sushi restaurant near me. I like sushi. I always kind of wondered about the wisdom of me traveling to some other place, the middle of the country, and looking for sushi at a restaurant I had never been to before. But I would always check the reviews. The good thing about the Google Business Profile is when people are looking for a business like yours in your local community, they're going to be able to find your organization. One of the kind of silver linings of this really crazy place that we're in right now with COVID, everybody knows small businesses are really having a hard time. And so there's a huge interest in people right in your local community doing business with you because everyone, me, you, everybody, we really want to support local businesses. So having a robust and well-built business profile can absolutely help people in your local community get to know you. The other thing that is great about the business profile is it is a free resource that Google offers to most local businesses, as well as nonprofit organizations. So I do like to stress that this is a 100% free tool. If you choose for whatever reason to hire somebody to manage it for you, that's totally up to you. That would be a business decision only you could make, but you absolutely do not need to pay anybody anything to manage your business profile. You can do it 100% yourself. What's interesting about the business profile is businesses that have up-to-date profiles are 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable. Now, this is not a set it and forget it type tool. This is something that you'll need to kind of think about keeping updated and fresh, and I'll talk about how to do that in a way that's similar to what you're doing on social media. Now, you don't need to update it, every day like you might need to if you're using Twitter or something like that, but you do want to be sure that it has current information about your business, especially right now when businesses are going through this strange time where we're not sure who's open, we're not sure who's closed, we're not sure who's got shorter hours, we're not sure who's got longer hours. And so customers want that information when they're looking for you on Google. So your Google Business Profile is probably one of the easiest ways of staying up to date and letting people know how they can interact with you today on May 21st, 2021, because it may be very different from how they had to interact with you 4 or 5 months ago. So you do want to be sure that you keep this up to date. The other thing that's great about keeping it up to date is up-to-date business profiles are 70% more likely to attract a location visit. Now, this is important to understand. If you have a brick and mortar business, like a retail store or a restaurant, and you want total, complete, random strangers showing up at your business unannounced, and that's what you would want if you had a restaurant or a retail store, it's important that you keep your business profile up to date. And here's why. Your business profile will have directions. It will have your business address, and people, if they're looking at your business profile on their smartphone, they can tap on the address and Google will give them turn-by-turn directions to show them exactly how they can get to your business. And it's important to understand that you need to keep that information up to date. Now, the other thing that is super important is if you are a home-based business and you do not want people showing up at your business unannounced, you absolutely can still have a business profile and you can not show your home address. This is one of the things I actually see a lot, is I will see people that operate from home. They just set it up. Their home address is showing up on Google. There's a picture of their front door and their grass, which may or may not have needed to be mailed the day that the picture was actually needed to be mowed the day the picture was taken. So as long as you have the type of business where normally you would see people face to face, meaning you are a service type business, you absolutely can still have a business profile if you are home-based. And a good example of that would be, let's say I was a plumber and I don't need people coming to my house. Maybe my business is technically operating out of my house. I go to them. That's what we would call a service-based organization. So for you home-based folks, just be sure that you are protecting your home address. This is a really quick overview of what a business profile might look like on somebody's itty-bitty smartphone. And so I just want to go over these elements. I will go into them a lot more detail, but people will see pictures and videos about your business. Obviously, they'll see the name of your business. There'll be an overview, and depending on how you have that set up, people can either get those turn-by-turn directions to show up at your business address, or they can message you, or they can call you, or they can schedule an appointment with you. And I'll go over all of that. Obviously, if you do want people to show up, your location will be there, as well as Google Maps. Your hours will show up, as well as reviews that people have written about you on Google. And don't worry, I will go over reviews because that's always a hot topic of conversation. Now let's go over how to set up the profile for the first time if you have not done that before. Or sometimes people will tell me that they set up a profile maybe a couple of years ago and they've kind of lost track of it and they don't know how to find it again. You'll go through the same process. All that you need to do is go to google.com/business. And then you would click the blue button that basically says, now you want to go ahead and manage the business profile. After that, hang on just a second. Whoops. All right, so after that, what you would do is go through the process of starting to type in the name of your business. Once you type in the name of start typing in the name of your business, a drop-down list may appear. And that's simply because obviously there are other businesses that have similar names. So if I had Pamela's Plumbing Service, once I started to type in PAM, every other Pamela type business would show up in the drop-down list. But as I continued to write the full name of my business, those drop-downs would get shorter. If your name does appear in the drop-down, you can go ahead and select that. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Just type in your business name. Now, what I like about this next slide here is after you type in the name of your business, Google will kind of say to you, are you sure that you want to be sure that you have spelled your name properly? This is actually really important. The name of your business that you put here needs to be the name that customers will recognize. It also should be the name that you have used in your other online tools, such as Facebook or Yelp or something like that. Now, I know that some of you may have official names of your business. Maybe you have an LLC, that is, your full name. But if you're doing business as Pamela's Puppy Training Service, that's what you want to put on this business profile. It needs to be the name that customers will recognize. Again, you also do want to be sure that it's the same name that you are using across the internet, because eventually, as long as those two names match, Google will find perhaps your Facebook presence, or if you have reviews on Yelp, and will kind of match up those tools. So it's important that you're using the exact same name. After that, you need to choose a category for your business. Now, you cannot create your own category. And I know that many of you may have very, very specific businesses that work with a very specific niche. If that's you, don't worry about it. Choose a category that's closest to your business. You've got a couple of other places where you can describe specifically exactly what you do and maybe what you don't do, just so that way you can be sure that the ideal customer is contacting you about services that you can provide, and you're not getting contacted by people that are looking for services that you don't provide. So you do need to select a category for your business here. Now, the next question is really important. You need to say yes or no here. Do you have a business or do you have a location that customers can visit? And so this is where, if you have the brick and mortar business where you want strangers seeing your business address and showing up at your business unannounced, you would say yes here. If you don't want people showing up unannounced, you would say no. So for those of you that are home-based, you would say no here. Or if you have the type of business where maybe your office is in a bigger organization, but you're not there very often, maybe you rent space in another business and, you kind of use that space for meetings, but you're not there, from 8 to 5 every day, you would probably say no here also. Because what you don't want is people looking at their profile and saying, oh, I'm going to go visit them today, having them show up at your business and nobody's home. So that's why you want to be careful about whether you say yes or no here. If you said yes, you need to put in the official street address of your business. And that's the address that will show up on Google Maps. If you've said no, you won't be given that opportunity right here. Whether you have a brick and mortar business or you have a service business operating out of your home, you'll have the opportunity to select a service area. So if you have a brick and mortar business, let's say I owned Pamela's Plumbing retail store, and I had that brick and mortar business and I wanted people to show up unannounced, but maybe I also offered plumbing services. And I would go to maybe anybody that was within a 30-mile radius of my business. I could also add a service area. For those of you that do not have that brick and mortar business, if on the previous slide you had said, no, don't show my address, you would go straight to this place where you would say, how far are you willing to travel to help people with your business? So that's what the service area is all about. After that, you need to put in your contact information, either your telephone number or a website if you already have one. Now, every once in a while, I'll talk to somebody and they will say, well, I don't want to put my phone number out there because I use my cell phone and I don't yet have a website. You can build a free website through the Google Business Profile, and I'll walk you through that here in just a couple of minutes. But you cannot build that until your profile is verified, and I'll explain what that means. Every once in a while, I'll talk to somebody and they're really more in the pre-startup phase of their business. They may not be quite ready for the business profile yet. So if that's you, just know that as soon as you're ready to share information about how people can contact you, this is going to be the perfect tool for you. The next thing that you need to do is you need to verify your connection to the business. Now, this is something that sometimes frustrates people. Google does ask you to jump through some hoops to verify this connection. That's actually a good thing, because what you don't want is some other person accidentally claiming your business and trying to build a business profile. Maybe if I had Pamela's plumbing service, maybe if there's somebody else that had Pam's plumbing service, I wouldn't want Pam to try and claim Pamela's plumbing service. So that's why Google does ask you to jump through a couple of hoops. First, you need to verify that, yes, you are the business owner or the person responsible at the business for this type of thing. And then you need to request a postcard. The postcard will be mailed to, if you've already set up your address, the postcard will be mailed to that address that you previously gave Google. If you are a service-based business, and maybe you're operating out of your home, if you did not previously give Google the address, you need to give Google your home address here. Now, this causes some frustrations for some people. You cannot use a PO box. Even if you use a PO box for all your business correspondence, you cannot use that address here. Google needs you to give them the address where your business truly physically operates. Your business does not operate at the post office. You also cannot use one of those for-profit mailbox places that's in the strip mall, next to the grocery store, because your business does not operate there. If you are home-based, your business operates at your home, and you will need to give Google your home address here. But don't worry, this is not the place that would make it show up on Google Maps. Now, the other thing to understand is sometimes people tell me that they've requested this postcard and it doesn't show up. First of all, it's not really what I think of as a postcard. When I think of a postcard, I think of kind of a rigid 5x7 that's shiny on one side with pictures of palm trees that says, "Wish you were here." This is not what Google sends you. Google sends you one of those mailers that your credit card company or your bank may send you, that you need to peel off the sides before you peel off the top and bottom, and then you open it up. And when you open it up, there's a secret code inside. Now, I'll be honest, it looks kind of like junk mail. And Google typically does not mail us stuff. And so it's important that you let every single human being who might possibly touch the mail know that you're expecting this important piece of information from Google, because it's super easy just to look at it and think this is junk mail and throw it away. So that's really important to understand. The postcard, Google says, takes about 5 days to show up. Give it a couple of weeks. Mail is a little bit weird right now. I'll be honest, Google's team that runs this, a lot of them have been redeployed to other areas, so they're a little bit behind. So give it a couple of weeks, but it should show up at whatever address you've provided to Google. Now let's take a tour of what this business profile actually looks like. What I'm showing you right now is the dashboard for the business profile. And this is something that you can access through your computer, or there's an app for that. And the app is a free app you can download to your smartphone, whether you use an Apple device or an Android device, and it's simply called Google My Business. But I'm going to show you for the most part what it looks like on the computer. The first thing that you have the opportunity to do is update your business info. Obviously, you want to be sure that your name is correct. If some of you that are listening to me right now, if in the past you set one up that had your formal LLC name and you realized, oh wait, that's not how my customers think about me, I need to change my name, you would change it here at the info tab. Now, in the past, when you set up your business profile, you chose one category for your business. Once you get inside the dashboard, you can choose up to 9 additional categories for your business. Now, you don't necessarily want to choose all 10 categories just because you've got 10 categories that you can choose, but be sure that you're choosing categories that make sense for your business. So you've got more flexibility there as well. After that, you need to just double check to be sure that the address is correct. For those of you who might have set this up in the past using your home address, if you have a little bit of a panic when you realize all of a sudden that your home address is out there on Google, this is where you would delete that. If that's the case, it may take a little bit of time to kind of fade away, but this is where you would delete the address. So that's something that's good to know. The next thing that you can do is update your hours. 40% of people that are looking for a local business, they just want to know, what are your hours? Especially right now as things have gotten weird because of COVID. People want to know, are you open on weekends? Are you open on Sunday? If you are your hours the same, or are they shorter hours? So this is something that I suggest you do put a little bit of thought into. Obviously, if you have a brick and mortar business and you want strangers to show up, you want to let them know when they can show up. If you're the type of business where you're not easily able to answer the phone all the time, you may not want to put your hours on here at all. And I know that sounds a little bit contrary, but let's say your business is something like you're a midwife And there may be long stretches of time where you are not able to answer the phone because you're helping some woman deliver her baby. That's what midwives do. What you don't want to do is put hours out there if you're not going to be able to answer the phone or at least respond to people quickly. So that's just one situation where you may not want to put hours on your business profile. You do have the opportunity to add something called more hours. And this is something that Google has rolled out in response to COVID. More hours, you can see on the screen here, would be if you have special hours for people maybe that need easy access. You know, if you remember when we all first started getting shut down because of COVID, a lot of the grocery stores were opening early on certain days for seniors or for people that needed a little bit more breathing room when they were at the grocery store. They didn't want to shop in a crowded environment. Some businesses have certain hours for delivery that might be different from their regular hours. So if something like that applies to your business, you have that opportunity to do those more hours. And that's a new feature Google rolled out in response to COVID. The next thing that you have the opportunity to do is create a short name to direct people to your business profile. This is another new feature that Google has rolled out relatively recently. I've been talking about this tool for almost 4 years now for Google. When I first started talking to people about this, it was hard to send people a link to find your business profile. Now with this short name, it makes it easier. You definitely want to set up a short name, especially when it comes to trying to get reviews. And so I'll talk about the short name again once we get to the reviews section. After that, you have the opportunity to update your phone number and your website. Again, if you do not yet have a website, I'll show you how you can create that through the Google Business Profile. The next thing that you can set up on the Info tab are what Google call attributes and highlights. These are things that are special to your business, and I'm going to kind of talk about them in reverse order. Highlights are things that will show up as badges on your business profile. Highlights are available to almost all businesses that have a verified profile. There are 3 highlights that could show up. If you are a Black-owned business, if you are a veteran-led business, or if you are a woman-led business, you can select one or all 3 of those badges as highlights. So that way, when people look at your business profile, they may see that you are veteran-led, Black-owned, or woman-led, some combination or all of the above. And those will show up prominently on your business profile when people look at it on their phone. That's really important because, again, one of these silver linings of this crazy world that we are in is people in your local community want to support businesses just like you. So let them know what's going on with your business. So those are available to almost all business profiles. Attributes are kind of similar, but they are dependent on what business category you chose. So let's say I had a business that was a retail store. We'll say it's a retail gift shop. Some gift shops offer gift wrapping. So if I chose gift shop as my business category, in this area, Google would give me the option to say, do I offer gift wrapping? If I do, I could click on that attribute and it would also show up prominently on my business profile. Now, if I chose the business category of plumber, I would not be offered the opportunity to say, do I offer gift wrapping? Because plumbing typically does not come gift wrapped. I don't know what attributes show up for plumbers, but there probably are attributes such like, do you offer services on nights and weekends? And so that's what attributes are about. They are dependent on the type of business category that you have. Google's always adding new attributes. So if you've had a profile for a while, I definitely recommend you look at the Info tab again and see if there are new attributes that apply to your business that you want to let people know that you have to offer. So that's what attributes are all about. On the Info tab, you also have an opportunity to write a description about your business. This is one of the most underused places on the business profile. You can write a description of up to 750 characters. I recommend you get very strategic with this. You may have heard people talk about keywords in relation to your primary website. Keywords are the types of words that you think your ideal future customer is going to be using when they go to Google and they're looking for a business like yours. You want to have those same type of keywords in your business description. This is also the place for those of you that have very unique businesses that serve a very special niche or niche, kind of depending on how you want to pronounce it. This is your opportunity to talk about the very specific, unique qualities of your particular business. I did this presentation a while back, and there was somebody online who made quilts out of t-shirts. And so she said, I don't know what category to choose. I'm not a quilting store. I'm not a seamstress. What am I? And so we decided that she should be a gift store. And then in her business description, write very specifically, I specialize in making gift quilts out of t-shirts. So that's what she decided to do in the description. So use that carefully. The next thing you have the opportunity to do is set the date that your business opens. Or if you are opening in the future, you can put that here. Now, if you are a service-based, home-based business, it may not really be all that helpful to put a future opening date here. But if you are a brick and mortar business and people can see that there's construction going on, right where your address is, that's where it might come in really handy for you as well. The next thing that you can do is you can link bookings to your business profile. So let's talk about bookings. There are certain types of businesses, such as hair salons, nail salons, yoga studios, that use some type of third-party booking tool to let people schedule appointments online or sign up for a yoga class or something like that online. Those are tools like Booksy, Mindbody, Booker. There's a couple of other ones as well. If something like that applies to your business category, you probably know what it is. You're probably already using one of those. So if there's some place on your primary website where people can book an appointment with you through one of those third-party tools that you're probably paying for, you can link that to your Google business profile. That's huge. That way, if people are looking for, a nail salon near me, if they see your business profile, they can schedule an appointment for a pedicure directly through your business profile. So that's what the bookings tab is all about. Again, that's only for businesses that are already using some type of third-party booking software. For everybody else, you can have the opportunity to let people book just a regular appointment with you. So an appointment would be something like if there's somebody maybe that offers a free 15-minute consultation. The appointments is something which should be available to all businesses regardless of your category. If there's a place on your primary website where people can book an appointment with you, now this is different. You don't have to pay any third-party tool for the appointments, but maybe you have a link on your website where people can go to your Google Calendar and schedule an appointment with you, or maybe you're using something like Calendly, and there's a free version of that if there's only one appointment type that people want to book with you. You can take the page on your website where people can book that appointment and link it to your business profile. That way, when people see your business profile, maybe you're an accountant, people can click on the appointments link and schedule a consultation with you or an appointment with you. So that's what the appointments tab is. And so that's what the appointments tool is. So it's just a little bit from bookings. So I just want to be sure everybody understands. Now, I mentioned when we first got started that the business profile kind of follows some of the things that you're already used to doing with social media. One of those things is you can create posts in your business profile. So depending on what type of business category you chose, you have some options for different types of posts you can create. Everybody has the opportunity of doing what's new posts. If you have a business category where you typically have products, you can do product posts. Everybody has the opportunity of doing offers. If you're, maybe scheduling appointments and, I'm going to discount my service for you or something like that. You can do an offer, and you can also do events. Now, keep in mind, an event doesn't necessarily mean gather a whole bunch of people together, in your office. It could be an online event. And it could be something as easy as, on Friday morning, we're going to do an online live Q&A session. So if you have any questions about our business, join us on Friday and we'll answer them for you live. So that's what the different types of posts could be for your business. The next tab is the Photos tab. You have the opportunity of uploading pictures about your business as well as videos. Not a whole lot of businesses upload videos, so I definitely recommend you do that. You can upload a video that's up to 30 seconds. And this is actually, pictures and videos are actually one of the things that might be a little bit easier for you to do using your smartphone and the app that I mentioned before. Just like you're used to uploading pictures and videos to social media, it works in a very, very similar way. Now, I will let you know that your customers can also upload pictures of your business. Every once in a while, somebody will say to me that one of their customers uploaded a picture that they didn't really think was the most flattering. And how can you make it go away? It can be really hard to make one of those pictures go away. If you can demonstrate to Google that somebody uploaded a picture that was not of your business, it was actually somebody else's business, Google will absolutely take that picture down. And you would do that in the pictures area. You would simply flag it and ask Google to take a look at it. But just because it's not the best picture, Google probably won't take that down. So instead, what you want to do is you want to control the image of your business. And you do that by uploading lots of your own pictures. So that's what pictures are all about. The next tab that's available are the Services tab. And so for those of you that offer a variety of services, this is a place where you can create your own service. Remember, you cannot create your own category, but you can create your own service here. Again, Google will give you options of services that businesses like yours typically offer, but this is another place where you can say what's special about your particular service organization. All right, so let's talk about the website here. I'm going to kind of go over a little bit of just general information about the website, and then I'm going to switch gears and share a different screen with you that has a live version of my own personal business profile, and I'll kind of walk you through how the website process works. The first thing I want everybody to understand is this website is a very basic website. It is perfect for businesses that are just getting started that do not already have a business. Your business profile does need to be verified before you can publish the website through the business profile here. So that's something that's important to understand as well. If you already have a website, I do not recommend you ditch the website that you have and use this one instead. And that's simply because whatever website you've had in the past has history behind it. And history is one of the things that goes into play when Google's mathematical formulas are sorting out how high or how low is your website going to be in Google's organic search rankings. But for those of you that are just getting started in your business, this may be the perfect website for now. And then as your business grows, then you can develop more of a more of a robust website. This is a one-page website. You cannot have a shopping cart on here. So for those of you that have products that you want to sell, you cannot have those products on this particular website. All right, so I'm going to switch gears, so just bear with me. And I kind of played through this earlier before you all joined. So I just want to be sure I've got the right screen up. Hang on just a second. I think this is the world that we're all living in, where we're all kind of trying to figure out. Here we go. Just bear with me. It would help if I had my glasses on. There we go. All right. So wait, nope. Can one of you all let me know if you see the screen that's showing my business profile? It should say Pamela Starr, professional speaker, because I can't quite see what you all are seeing.
It's showing your timer and your slide
Okay.
notes.
Thank you. Okay. Just bear with me. All right. Is that sharing the right thing now? Let me blow it up.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right, thank you all. So this is, as you can see over here, this is my Google business profile. Theoretically, I should not have a business profile because I do not support individual local people in my local community. I work with big organizations, but I have it because I like to show people how it works. So as you can see here, the name that I have for my business, I have it listed as Pamela Starr Professional Speaker. So if I kind of scroll down over to the left where the website tab is, this is what you're seeing right now is kind of the framework for the website. It's got my business name up at the top. There is a little information about that, helping major brands connect with the people that fuel them. That is kind of the tagline that I use on my business. If I wanted to edit that, I could click on the edit button and I could change information here in the description. I could type this in here and I could say something like, say, helping small businesses grow. So that's how you would change the description if you wanted to. If I wanted to add, right now I've got the button showing up that says make an appointment. Over here on the left is where that button is. You can change that to contact us or get a quote if one of those makes sense for your particular business. So you can see I just changed that to contact us. I can add more information for more headers, and I'll just say, here's another header. And then I could do more content. If I wanted to, I could, we'll make that bold and we will underline that. Underline's not showing up. That's odd. That might be for the summary body. Okay. So, but you've got a lot of flexibility here with what's going to show up. You can add more photos. Whoops. I will save those changes. There we go. You can add more photos and you would simply upload them from your computer, just like you're probably already used to uploading pictures to social media. So I'll close that. I want to show you here the themes, because this is one of the things that I think is really great. The theme that kind of my business profile website here defaulted to is called Nouveau. But if I wanted to, I could use a different theme. So you can see how I just chose that one spring and the colors changed. Here's a noble one, so that's got a different vibe as well. So those are how you can change the look and the feel of your business profile. I'll save those changes. Then when you click on more, there's a couple of other things that you can do. Basically, at this point then, you would, if I wanted to publish this and make this live, I would click on publish now and it would be live. So a couple of other things to understand here. Whoops. Okay, whoops. Okay, now I've gone back. Bear with me. This is the fun part of doing live demonstrations. There we go. A couple of things to understand. The Google Business Profile is 100% free. Building this website within your business profile is also 100% free. As you can see, this is a basic profile. What it has done is it pulled in some of the posts that I have done in the past. You can see here's a post that I did back in April. It also has pulled in testimonials that I've gotten from other people that people have also written about me on Google. Those are my reviews that people have written. So it gives people the opportunity when they see my website of writing review as well. If I had hours that I wanted to show, the hours would show up right here. Right now it says add business hours because I don't have hours on there. When it comes to the domain name, and the domain is the www.whatever, you can also get a free domain. And what it does is it defaults to the name of your business profile, .business.site. And that's what you can see over here on the top in the left here. Right now it says Pamela Starr Consulting, because that's technically the name that I gave Google for my business, .business.site. So it's not a .com, it's not a .org or anything like that. But this is free also. So for those of you that are just getting started, this might be perfect for you. Good example of this is I'm actually in the process of moving. I'm having some painting and whatnot done on the new house before I move in. And I was talking to the company that is doing the painting. They told me they don't even have a website. They said that they get most of their business through referrals. But they're like, we don't even have a website. We don't know what we're supposed to do. This would be perfect for them. So for many people, this is perfect for you. If you already have a domain that maybe you've already purchased and you haven't used before, yourbusinessname.com, you can absolutely attach it to this business profile. If you don't have one and you want one, you can purchase one through Google. It's the same price as you would buy one from any other place. I always kind of hate to talk about pricing online, but typically they'll be anywhere from $12 to $15 to $20 a year. Sometimes places will have deeper discounts for the first year, and then your renewal might be more like $20. But you don't even need to do that. So for those of you that are just getting started, this might be perfect for you. Then as your business grows, then you might want to transition into a more robust website. So I just kind of wanted to show you kind of the ins and outs of all of that. And I will go over and go back to my slides. And lesson to me is next time I do this presentation with these types of live things, I need to remember to have my glasses on so I can actually see what I'm sharing with you. All right, so let me move that down. All right, so do you all see Vince's Village Cobbler now?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so that's the website tab. That's how building that website works. The next thing that we're going to talk about are reviews. And remember when I showed you the draft of my website, reviews were showing up on that. So when you have your business profile online, people have the opportunity to write reviews about you on Google, and they will show up on your business profile. When somebody writes a review about you, Google will send you either an email, or if you have the app on your phone, you will get an alert through the app that will say something like, "Great news, you've got a review." You definitely want to be sure that you are paying attention to your reviews. I'll talk about negative reviews first, because that tends to be a hot topic of conversation. So in the unlikely events that you have a negative review, Google will let you know. What I definitely recommend is when you see that negative review, give yourself, first of all, 24 hours to calm down, because I know it can be frustrating because people sometimes might write a negative review that you're going to say, you know what, I don't deserve this negative review. But you definitely do need to respond to that negative review. And there's really only one way to ever respond. And it needs to be something along the lines of, "I'm so sorry you had that problem. Please contact us directly so we can learn more about it." Now, depending on what type of business you have, maybe you're an accountant and somebody wrote a review that said, they did a terrible job with my taxes. You may be able to say, if this is true, if that person did not ever use your business, you might be able to say something like, "Please, I've looked through my customer list. I don't see where we've ever prepared taxes for you, but please contact us directly and we'll see if perhaps we can fix whatever problem you had with another tax preparer." What you don't want to do is explain the situation and justify it and defend it and point out it wasn't your fault, the other person was a jerk. Somebody's going to end up looking like a jerk here. Don't let it be you. You definitely want to take the high road. Yes, strangers will see that negative review. They will also see your response to the negative review. So you want to be very, very professional. Now, on a happier note, you will have lots of positive reviews. And so you also want to respond to those positive reviews, because if somebody took the time to write a positive review about you, first of all, you want to thank them for it. Now, also keep in mind, strangers will see that positive review. And if strangers see that the business owner responded to that positive review, they're going to have a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling about you, because they're going to know, hey, you're paying attention, you actually care. And that's going to help them want to actually do business with you. Now, what you can do, remember at the very beginning of our conversation, we talked about that short name that you could create for your business profile. Here's where you can use it. You can attach that to the reviews. The review section will give you a URL that you can use, that you can copy that URL and email it out to your loyal, happy customers and ask them, would they please write a genuine review about your business? Now, you cannot ask people to write a 5-star review. You cannot say to people, for every 5-star review, if you write a 5-star review, I'll give you a coupon or a discount or a free product. If Google finds out that you're doing that, if you're basically offering an incentive for positive reviews, Google will suspend your business profile altogether. So what you can do is, as I said, email your loyal, happy customers and ask them to write a genuine review. Ask them to write an honest review. Don't email your grouchy customers. The other thing that people have shared with me is sometimes they will put this link on social media and say something like, hey, I'm trying to get more Google reviews. Can you please click on the link and write a review about me on Google? And people do write a review, but then they just write the review on whatever social media platform they have, which is fine because obviously you want to have lots of reviews on social media. But if you're specifically trying to get more reviews on your Google presence, you're probably going to be better off emailing your customers if you have their email address and asking them to write a genuine review. So that's how the reviews work. Okay, and here's actually, it got ahead of myself. Here's what that short name looks like. This is what the URL will look like. And when you go into the reviews section, you'll have that opportunity to send people that link to the reviews. Now, if somebody wrote a review that truly was not about your business, just like I discussed in the photo situation, if somebody wrote a terrible review about Pam's plumbing service and it wasn't about Pamela's plumbing service, if they were two totally different businesses, you can flag that. And if I could explain to Google this wasn't about my business, Google absolutely will remove that negative review. But it can be tricky. So you do need to be sure that you're getting lots of positive reviews from your loyal, happy customers. That way, any negative reviews that you might have will kind of fall down to the bottom of the list. So that's how you can manage reviews. The next thing that you have the opportunity to do is set up what's called messaging. Messaging defaults to being off on your business profile. I recommend that you experiment with turning it on. If you turn this on, what will happen is if people are looking at your business profile on their itty bitty smartphone, there'll be a little round circle that says message. They can tap on that button and send to you what they feel like is a text message. Again, when I first started talking about this tool for Google, 4 years ago, you needed to give Google a cell phone number, and it truly would be like a text message. You no longer need to do that. You don't need to give Google a cell phone number. The messaging lives kind of within the tool itself. And the best example I can give for you is as you're used to sending messages through Facebook or through Twitter, it works basically exactly the same way. So the messaging kind of lives within this experience. So that's why it's always a good idea, again, to have the app on your phone. That way, if you have a message, you'll get an alert. You can tap on the Google business profile and you respond back to the message. That way you don't need to worry about anybody having your cell phone number. Now, there are a couple of interesting things about messaging here. The messaging feature, you cannot schedule it. If you turn it on, it's on 24/7. If you turn it off, it's off altogether. So if you turn it on, what I definitely recommend you do is you can set up an auto response. So that way, if somebody sends you a message, they will automatically get a response back from you. And I recommend you make that response something along the lines of, thank you for contacting us. If you have contacted us during our regular working hours, we will get back to you shortly, or maybe we'll get back to you by the end of the business day. If you have contacted us after hours, we will get back to you on the next business day. That kind of saves you a little bit. If somebody sends you a message, on Sunday, and you don't operate on Sunday, you don't need to worry about replying back to them right away. However, you do need to respond to your messages on a regular basis, because if you don't, Google will deactivate this automatically for you. Because Google doesn't want people to think, oh, well, anytime I send a message through a Google business profile, the businesses just ignore me. It just goes into a black hole. I don't know what happened. And so you do need to be sure, though, that you are paying attention to your messages. The easiest way to do that is simply look at the app on your phone. You'll have an alert. You can set it up so you can get an email if that's something that makes a little bit more sense for the way that you like to do business. Now, the last thing that I'm going to be talking about here before I wind down my presentation is the Users tab. So let's talk about this a little bit. As I've mentioned, this is a 100% free tool that you can absolutely manage 100% yourself. Having said that, it's not always the best strategic business decision to try and do every single little thing about anything that has to do with your business. And if you're working with people at the WBCs or WeVenture, they will probably advise you that at some point you need help. So if there is somebody else who helps you with your organization, you may choose to set up that person as a user for your business profile. And that could be an intern, it could be an employee, it could be a friend or family member who helps you manage your business. You may decide, hey, do you know what? I don't have time to deal with photos. I want some other person in my world to be responsible for uploading photos. What you don't ever want to do is give somebody your password and allow them to log into your business profile as you. Instead, what you want to do is give them the ability to set up their own password, and you would do that through the Users tab. And so what you would do is simply go to the Users tab, type in their email address. They'll get an email with a link. They'll have to click on the link and set up their own password. You can determine what you want them to have the ability to do. Maybe you only want them to do photos, but not change your address or something along those lines. Never give people your password. One of the things that I do hear, unfortunately, sometimes is somebody may hire somebody to set up their website, and that person may say, do you know what? Do you want me to set up your business profile? Sure, I'll do that for you. If you choose to have somebody else do that for you, be super certain that you are the one who is setting it up under your own email address, and then make that other person a user. That way, if and when that business relationship ends, and they always do end, sometimes for really happy reasons, you can turn off that person's ability to use your account. Maybe you've outgrown them. They were perfect for you when you were small, but as you grow, maybe you need to have somebody that has more skills, in which case then you would disable their ability to manage your account. And whoever's helping you with your website in the future, maybe you give them the ability to manage your account with you. So that's the Users tab. So I know I've given you a ton of information. I'm keeping my eye on the clock. I've got one more little goodie I want to share with you here in just a moment. But for those of you that are just getting started, you definitely want to set up your business profile, and you would do that at google.com/business. For those of you that have had a business profile for a while, be sure that you're keeping this up to date. You want to have lots of photos, videos if you can. You want to be sure that you're doing posts, so that way when people look at your business profile, they see that it is current, and they're going to be more likely to want to do business with you. The third thing that you see on your screen there is Google actually gives you a lot of insights, which are data about how different groups of people interact with your business profile. I typically don't talk about that in this presentation, just because for people that are just getting started, you may not even be ready to look at that information. Just know that it's available to you as you get a little bit more comfortable with the business profile. And then the final tool that I want to show you that's tied to your business profile that unfortunately is not available to all businesses is what Google calls a marketing kit. So if you have a brick and mortar business, and some service businesses have this available to them, for me personally, it is not available to my business, but Google has something that they call a free marketing kit. You can go to g.co/marketing kit, or if you're a Black-owned business, you can go to g.co/marketing kit-Black-owned. What Google will do is pull a lot of the information that's already on your verified business profile. So if you're not verified yet, this won't be available to you, but we'll pull information like your reviews, information about your business, and we'll kind of organize that information into some print-ready art tools. So there are things like art for posters, arts for tabletops. There are some social media posts, which the print ready stuff shows up in a PDF format. The social media posts show up, I believe that they're in JPEG format. So for those of you who maybe have a restaurant, you could have a poster. You can create that through this tool, download the poster art, and send it to some local printer in your community. They can print the poster for you. You can put it in the window. Again, this isn't unfortunately available to everybody, but if you are verified, I definitely recommend you look for those marketing kits. It's fairly straightforward to use. took me about 5 minutes when I was playing around with somebody else's business profile to work on the marketing kit. So that's something which is another free resource that Google offers, not to all businesses, but to many businesses once they become verified. All right. And that takes me to the end of my time here with you. So thank you for your attention here today. And I know, Victoria, I think you had some final comments to make for the good of the group. And so I'll just kind of hang on. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer questions too.
Great. I just want to make sure, first of all, Pam, thank you. As always, you always bring lots of information, things that business owners can use immediately. And I think that's what's so important, particularly now. So we want to thank you, and we look forward to your future workshops with us as well. But I want to make sure that we address all of the questions that are in the chat. So if anyone has a question that was not answered in the chat, now is the time. So if you could raise your hand or unmute to get your question answered, we want to make sure that we answer all of the questions that are out there.
Good morning, this is Sherry Rudolph, and I am interested in finding out if the slides will be available.
I can absolutely make them available to the WBCs for sure, if you guys want them.
Okay, great, thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, good morning, Pamela.
Good
This
morning.
is Jacqueline Jimenez. The website that you have, will it conflict with our personal business website in any way?
It won't conflict, but if you already have a website, is that you're referring to, that you already have an existing website?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't recommend you have two websites. And one of the reasons is because one of the things that influences how high or how low your website shows up in Google's organic search rankings are the number of visitors that you have. So you're better off with 100 visitors on your regular website than having 75 visitors on one website and 25 visitors on this other website. And so if you already have one, I don't recommend you build one through this. This is perfect for people that don't yet have a website. But what I don't want you to end up doing is unintentionally actually hurting the performance of your primary website simply because you're kind of watering down your online presence. So hopefully that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Okay,
thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions?
I see just a couple of things in the chat here. I'll just kind of answer these really super quickly.
Okay.
Mindy asks, can you use an address provided by UPS store? The answer is no. And that's because your business does not operate at the UPS store, unless you are the UPS store. So in that situation, you would still need to use your home address. Google typically will figure out if that's a UPS store address. They're pretty savvy about that type of thing, and so they may not allow you to use that. Terry's asking, how does your business get shown on Google Maps? If you have set this up where you have a brick and mortar business, that will show up on Google Maps. So that's what that is. If you are a service business and you're protecting your home address, obviously your home address won't show up on Google Maps. But if people are looking for a business like yours in your community, you will show up on the list of businesses in Google Maps. So hopefully that answers that question. And then Emily had a question here. What do I recommend if you have two businesses? Do you need two profiles? Let me see if I can expand that. If we have one Google account. Okay, Emily's asking a good question. In Google's world, which is not always the real world, in Google's world, one person has one business, so there would be one business profile. Emily, in your situation, if you have two separate businesses, yes, you would need to have two separate Google accounts to manage those two separate businesses. The other question that I get asked a lot about that is, what if those two businesses operate, from the same home or the same actual physical location? If that's the case, you may have trouble. What people have shared with me, don't tell Google I tell you this, is sometimes for address of business number one, it might be 123 Main Street, Suite A. And for business number two, it could be 123 Main Street, Suite B. So some people have told me that that's kind of a workaround that they have used if they've got two separate businesses, or if they want to have two separate business profiles. So that might work for some people as well.
Is that it?
I think that's, if there's one question, what is the option to link calendar with profile? If you're referring to the appointments, that would be the appointments tab in the business profile. If that's you're referring to the calendar. When I mentioned if you have a calendar that you're using that people can book appointments with you, that would be through the appointments area. So hopefully that answers that question.
And I see a question here. Why do some businesses show in orange and others in red?
That may actually be that may be on your own system. Sometimes people, whether or not you have engaged with the business in the past, or if you've looked at their profile in the past, that may be what the color code is. So not 1000% certain, but a lot of times different people will see different experiences, and that could be why.
Okay. Any other questions? I see Emily has a question. What's the best way to contact Google if we have an issue?
Yeah, actually, that's a great thing. The best way to contact Google if you have an issue is actually through social media. So I will put into the chat right now the Twitter handle and the Facebook page of Google My Business. So people have told me that they've actually gotten really quick responses when they either tweet or message them on Facebook. So that's one of the great ways of doing that.
Okay, great. Again, Pam, thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate it. We look forward to your next workshop, which is taking place on June 18th. It's about reaching customers online via Google. So we look forward to everyone participating there as well. We're going to do breakout sessions now because we have people from the northern part of the state, the middle part of the state, and the southern part of the state. We realize that networking and connecting is so important. So we want to give everyone this morning an opportunity to connect. So we know that everybody has their 30-second elevator speeches together, and we're going to do breakout sessions. So we anticipate 3 breakout sessions. We want everyone to participate, be ready to share your information in the chat so you can connect beyond this. Have a great day. Thank you, Pam. Everyone be safe. I'm not going to come back after the breakout sessions. Catherine and Jackie, would you like to make comments now?
I just want to say thank you so much for putting this together. This is an awesome first series. We will, provide the recording and the presentation to everybody. So thank you, Pamela, again, and Victoria and Catherine. Super excited about this.
Great.
Yes, I echo that. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the 3rd Friday of June when we will have the next part of our series.
Right. All right, we're ready for our breakout sessions. Okay, here we go. Join.